Hey guys, what's up? Admin Zigzagoon here. Today I'm going to be showing you guys a battle spot video from early in the format with my first VGC 16 team. I'll be providing commentary on this video, and joining me will be my friend Prudy Pratt.
Hello!
So as you see here, my opponent and I were using similar teams. I recognized that my opponent's only mega option was his Gengar, which helped me determine my game plan. My team utilized Gravity Blades, which wasn't very popular in the early months of the format. My two off-screen Pokemon were Kangaskhan and Talonflame, rounding out my team. So without further ado, we'll jump right into the battle. Okay, so my opponent's going to lead his Gengar and Amoonguss, and I send out my Cresselia and Groudon. So Prudy, what do you think about the position for each player here?
Well, your Groudon exerts an incredible amount of pressure in being able to OHKO both of his Pokemon, and I believe that puts him in a really rough spot where he has to play incredibly defensively to start the game.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. So here, I think the Trick Room is looking really obvious, and you really don't want Trick Room up with Amoonguss on the other side of the field, so I just go ahead and switch out my Cresselia. So bringing in Amoonguss, I feel, is pretty safe here.
Yeah, it covers the potential Amoonguss Spore into your Cresselia slot very well.
Alright, so he's going to go ahead and Mega Evolve his Gengar, and we're trapped in here. So we see the Protect from Gengar, and Amoonguss as well. I guess he's trying to scout what kind of Groudon I am right now.
Yeah, and I think that, between scouting what type of Groudon you were, and if you did potentially go for Trick Room there, you'd be in a worse position because of the Amoonguss on his side.
Right. So here I protect my Groudon, realizing that I can just try to Spore his Gengar as long as it doesn't have Taunt, and that works out perfect, as he goes for the Disable on my Groudon.
Yeah, I'm a little confused by his Rage Powder play though. I'm not sure what he was trying to draw away. If anything, he should have Spored as well.
I agree. So here he's going to switch out to Cresselia, and I kind of give him an option here. He's either going to lose his Gengar, or the Pokemon coming in is going to get Spored.
Yeah.
So the Gengar switches out, but now I Spore his Cresselia for free.
Yeah, and that puts him in an even worse position. Because now his Gengar is asleep, hasn't even taken its first turn, and so is the Cress.
And now, with his Amoonguss protecting last turn, I realize I can just Fire Punch into that slot.
Yeah, and he didn't have a safe switch into Groudon either, in case you did Precipice Blades.
So here I just get a little bit of damage off, with nothing else to really do with Amoonguss on this turn. Okay, he's going to send out his own Groudon.
And so you had a few options this turn. You could have either Precipice Blades and switched out Amoonguss, protected Amoonguss and Precipice Blades, but you ended up going with the Protect on Groudon and the Spore.
Right.
And I think that covers for most of your opponent's plays, but it ends up being a pretty dead turn.
Yeah. So I Spore into the Protect, nothing really happened, and Cresselia takes a turn of sleep. So now I'm switching out my Groudon just to avoid any damage. I still don't know what kind of Groudon he is at this point, so let's see what happens here. Okay, so he goes for the Earth Power on that slot, so the Cresselia was a great switch.
Yeah, it covered all your options very well, and you get the free Spore on the Groudon.
Now this was a little risky because my Amoonguss could have just been knocked out here by an Eruption, Fire Punch.
Yeah, but from his perspective also, he has to be really afraid of your Groudon, potentially just destroying his Groudon.
Right. With Groudon and Amoonguss on the field, you have to really,
You have to choose which one.
Yeah. So now both of his Pokemon are asleep. I get my Groudon back in. Oh, but his wakes up and gets a skill swap off, giving his own Groudon Levitate.
Yeah. Which in most cases is a really good play, but with you having the Gravity Cresselia, it's not helpful at all. It's a waste of a turn, essentially.
No, it's not going to turn out well here. So I've got Trick Room up now. He skill swaps my Cresselia so that both of his Pokemon now have Levitate.
Yeah. It's a clever play, but then the Gravity comes out, and I like to imagine his heart just dropped right there.
Yeah.
Right to the ground.
I can't imagine that he's liking his position right now. Especially with his Groudon being asleep and unable to attack back.
Yeah.
So I get a big Precipice Blades off here.
Nasty.
Alright, so big damage, big damage. I go ahead and protect my Groudon just in case his does happen to wake up. I don't know his speed either.
Yeah, it covers the potential of him being min-speed Groudon as well, which we all like to assume at this early point in the format with Cress on the team,
Right. So I go ahead and get an Ice Beam off on Groudon, get a little chip damage.
Yeah, and you realize that it was a 2-hit KO as well.
Right.
At that low of HP.
So I withdraw my Groudon here, again, just in case he wakes up and goes for an Earth Power. I switch in my Amogus. The interesting thing about my Amogus, it's a eject button, and I actually didn't want it to take that Ice Beam on this turn, but that's okay.
Yeah, getting Groudon back in or Xerneas rather, you switch to
Right,
Xerneas.
yeah. I didn't really want to lose Groudon in case he
Yeah.
did get an Earth Power off.
Yeah, if for some reason Ice Beam didn't KO, he was slower.
Right. But the Ice Beam does get the Groudon.
Yeah, that puts you in a very advantageous position.
Certainly. So he gets his Gengar back in, who still hasn't taken a first turn of sleep yet, so he's guaranteed to sleep.
And now this was early in the format, so helping out on the Zern probably would look strange here, but Hidden Power Ground was still a thing back then.
Yeah.
And so helping hand Hidden Power Ground does a lot to that Gengar.
Yeah. So he's going to reverse Trick Room here, but
Yeah, it's too far, too gone.
he realizes it's over, so he goes ahead and forfeits.
GG.